It's time to buy Saka in FPL, and why are we getting rid of Joao Pedro and Mo Salah? Welcome back to the fantasy show on DR Sports. In today's video, we're going to go proper quickfire. I'm going to show you a wildcard team, my team, talk about some big name forwards we should be looking at. But first, let's start with Bukayo Saka. Those Arsenal fixtures are so good, and we now know Saka is fit and he's on penalties and he's firing. Gyökeres isn't the Arsenal attacker to own now. Bukayo Saka is, and he's only 10% owned, guys. Get him in your team if you can. If you own a Bruno or a Salah, it's probably an easy switch. Now, when we're looking at Arsenal, we think clean sheets, don't we? They've barely conceded this season. They're rock solid at the back. Double Arsenal defence is probably the play, and Timber and Gabriel feel so obvious. These fixtures, so good. Fulham, Palace, then Burnley, Sunderland. What a run of 4 games. You want to be on Arsenal assets right now in FPL. Guys, I'd love you to show support for the video, by the way. Drop a comment below and I'll respond to you, but also the likes and the subscribes. We're trying to grow this on DR Sports, so thank you, as always, for your support. But look, FPL managers right here, right now, the 2 most sold players this game week are Joao Pedro and the Mo Salah. Is that fair? Well, look, let's go Joao Pedro first. Guys, I don't know what you're doing. Do not sell Joao Pedro ahead of this run of fixtures. Forest under Ange Postecoglou are the defence to target. And then it's Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves, Burnley. What a run of 5 games for Joao Pedro, who, by the way, didn't play for Brazil in the international break. He was given a rest. We know he'd been managing a bit of an injury, but he should be fine and ready to go for game week 8. He's also suspended in the Champions League. So his Premier League minutes look really secure because he doesn't need to have that rest in at the weekends off the back of a 90-minute Champions League away day, for example. So these fixtures look so good for Joao Pedro. He could be on pens with no Cole Palmer, although Enzo did take the last one. Playing probably as the number 9 with this run. I don't think you want to be selling him. Keep him in your team. Surprised so many are. But the biggest sales out this week have been for Mo Salah, and I get it. He's flopped for his price tag. It's a lot. Let us know in the comments, but unless you're going to captain Mo Salah, 14 million plus is a lot to spend. But he has produced 134 points against Man United in 15 games. He always turns up against Man United. It's at Anfield. It's a dangerous sell this week. I fancy him to score. I fancy him to get something against Man United at Anfield. He's had a rest, of course, as well in the international break. But do I put Mo Salah in like a wildcard team? We'll see that coming up in a couple of minutes. No, I don't. I don't go near him. But do I sell him this week if he's in my actual team? Probably not, because I think he produces the goods versus Man United. But long term, unless we start seeing the Mo Salah of old, it's fair to sell him, because I don't think you're going to be captaining a player that's not caught the eye so far this season. But look, some players that have caught the eye, let's look at some forwards. Let's look at these forwards. These are the most points scored from forwards between game weeks 4 and 7. And form is important to a striker, right? We always talk about form versus fixtures in FPL. And we love a good fixture run. But if a forward especially has got his rhythm and everything he hits is going in, that's when you want to invest, right? And we know with Haaland, he smashed it. And we don't need to discuss Haaland, but there's some other names on this list we can discuss. I'm not overly fussed about Sesko. Again, minutes, but Man United fixtures are tough. Bowen under a new manager, I want to wait and see what Nuno does with that team. I question how many goals Nuno's West Ham will score. Will they be a defence-first team? Probably. But there's a couple of players on this list that are really interesting. First up, Nick Woltemade, who scored for Germany in the international break, but he's scoring goals for fun. Now, Newcastle have great fixtures. Woltemade is going to become a bit of a cult hero. He's well priced in FPL, and Visser is injured. And then Visser goes to AFCON in December. So he's back in November, AFCON December. Pretty much, Woltemade is the only number 9 option all the way through till January. The big question here is he conditioned enough to play Champions League, Premier League every single week? Or midweek, then weekend every single week? And I just question you're not going to get sets of 90. He's going to start every game, but you're going to get a lot of 70-minute substitutions, maybe. But maybe that's all he needs. And Woltemade is well priced. He's not on pens if Gordon's in the team. Like, Gordon took 2 pens over him in Europe last time out. Woltemade did score a pen last weekend, but Gordon had been substituted. But Woltemade looks great, and he's gonna be awesome for Newcastle. And then look, Igor Thiago's fine, Welbeck the same, they're cheap. But look, Calvert-Lewin, 5.5 million. Like, I know he's a terrible finisher, and he always underperforms his expected goals if you're into that sort of stuff. But Leeds do create chances for him. They have good fixtures and he's a bit of an enabler. But of course, the standout on this list is Haaland. You've got to have a Haaland in your team. And if you're going for one of the others, Walter Marder would be my pick. Some of you might be on wildcard this week. Some of you might be using chips. If you're doing that, let me show you my team and first a wildcard team. This is the wildcard team that my friend Late Riser 12 from the FPL Wire came up with for the Premier League. And he's on wildcard and I'd do something very similar if I was. I'd go double Arsenal defence with Saka. I'd go Pope in goal. Newcastle are brilliant at the back. Then you go for some DEFCON magnets, defensive contributions. Senesi, Kilman and Rodon will all be very good at them. Senesi's been outstanding so far. Double Chelsea attack is worth consideration if you fancy Enzo, but I'd definitely go Joao Pedro. Ismail Assar is the standout Crystal Palace attacker for me, although Mateta's very good as well. You could go Sarah Mateta instead of Jared Bowen there, or you could go Walter Marder instead of Bowen. This is a very good makeup of a wildcard team. And these players, whether you're on wildcard or not, they should be worth consideration in your FPL team. A lot to like about them. A lot to like. I want to just address, by the way, Newcastle defence along with Arsenal defence. Sometimes we just beeline for all the best attackers in our team, right? Don't neglect your defence. Defensive contributions have been huge this season for the likes of Senesi and Rodon, and Kilman will get them now under Nuno. But goalkeeper points, like if you can upgrade your 4.5 million Verbruggen or your 5 million Sells to a Nick Pope or a Raya, these guys will get clean sheets for fun. And Newcastle and Arsenal have shown us so far this season, they are the standout defences in the league by some distance. Liverpool don't feature here, and we should mention Liverpool. Cody Gakpo is someone I would consider at a mid-level price point. But at the moment with Liverpool, despite having great fixtures, we need to see more. And we need to see more to justify the price tag because Liverpool players are expensive. But of course, if you own a Liverpool player going into the Man United game, you're probably holding. If you're on wildcard, you might just be going without Liverpool completely, as I think I probably would too. Guys, thank you for all the likes, by the way. Thank you. It really helps the algorithm. And do subscribe if you're new around here. But look, I want to show you my team when we do these videos every week. And I should have said earlier, my name's Gianni FPL. Hey, guys, you may have seen me on DR Sports. We've been doing the fantasy show all season. Let me show you my team. This is where I'm at. I use my wildcard in game week 7. I'm very well set for game week 8. It's got to be said. Like the bench is awesome. Look at the bench. I could play any of these guys. I want to get Minter and Kilman and Senesi into my 11, but as things stand, I'm going for double Palace versus Bournemouth. I've still got Semenyo in there. Gyökeres, I've got to hold and just give him one or two more games, but Saka's there, as is Gabriel. Double Man City attack versus Everton looks quite nice, and Joao Pedro's there too. Would I start a Dubravka over a Pope? I'm still not sure. And the benching dilemmas are real this week. But look, there's a lot out there that still have a bench boost chip. If I had a bench boost chip, I'd be absolutely playing it this week. And you guys can too. I'm seeing a lot of strong benches. That's all we got time for in today's video, guys. We'll be back next week as always. I look forward to seeing your comments. And I will see you in the next. Good luck this game week.